The Buttered Panda opened the door to the carriage and gave a broad, canine-filled smile to the princess.
"After you, my lady."
"Your Highness."
"Don't complain. I got you a fine new carriage to travel in."
"And some lovely manacles to wear on the inside. You know, my last captor gave me a fleet of valets and silverware as well as a carriage, and he allowed me my hands free to use them."
"The valets or the silverware? I'm afraid we're not travelling on a prince's budget, but if you aren't happy with the arrangements, I believe we still have some rope left. We can always tie you to the back of the carriage and make you walk. It's only 2 weeks' travel to the Count's estates. Might trim off some of that waistline."
The princess gave him a look that could chill deserts, then clambered into the carriage. Pyrex emerged from the bushes, holding a short coil of rope and a dagger, which he handed to the panda. He had a pair of saddlebags draped over his back. "All tied up," said Pyrex. He wandered over to the horses, who started neighing and skittering. "Yes," said the princess. "I've been meaning to ask, why didn't you just kill the former occupants? Would have been quicker."
"The kid's not comfortable with the wet work," said the panda.
"Seriously? The dragon isn't comfortable with killing?"
"No, never has been. Tried my best to educate him, but he hasn't taken to it yet."
The neighing from the front of the carriage died down. "So why keep him around? For that matter, where did you find him, and why is he so soft?"
"Oh, he's useful. Cooks my meals, washes my clothes, mends my weapons, gets the butter out of my fur when it's too thick. Too timid to betray me, too ingenuous to consider it. Picked him up a year ago on the road, hunting for mice. Poor kid finally caught one, couldn't bring himself to off it. When I stopped laughing, I gave him some of my steak, and he's stuck around since."
"Okay," said Pyrex, popping his head around the front of the coach. "Horses are fed, and they've accepted that we're not going away. I think they'll be fine so long as we keep feeding them and don't drive them too hard for too long. You want me to ride up top?"
"No, Pyrex, we're too close to civilization. I'll go up top. You sit in with the princess."
"What?" said the princess. "People aren't going to miss a dragon coachman, but pandas are a common sight."
"I'll wear a robe in the country, pretend to just be fat."
"Pretend?"
"I'm normal for my body type, Princess Thunderthighs. As I was saying, I'll wear a robe, but that won't pass in town. And no, pandas aren't a common sight, but beastmen slaves aren't unheard of either."
"So you're just going to strip naked and wear a slave collar? This I have to see."
"No collar. I have something else in mind. Speaking of which, I'd better go change. Thank you, Pyrex."
Pyrex got into the coach, slightly cramped in the limited space, holding a tiny crossbow in one hand. The panda shut the door, and Pyrex pulled the curtains on the carriage windows half to. The princess eyed the toy crossbow and the tiny fletched needle loaded into it. "Seriously?" she said. "That's your plan if I try to escape? You'll barely scratch me." "It's okay," said Pyrex. "It only needs to scratch you. Panda poisons his crossbows too.